Welcome to the Alec Diaz Show. My name is Alec Diaz, and I'll be your host. Let's go! It was one of those Florida afternoons where the heat just sits on you. Sunny out, humid, sticky everywhere from the shirt that's just being sweat out. I was helping one of my mentors at the time. He owned a rental car company, so every so often I would go out and help him with the rental cars. So this particular day, we were vacuuming the cars, so we went to one of those vacuum and cleaning shops, and we were cleaning it up for the next guest that would be arriving shortly. He would take the driver's side and I took the passenger side. So I vacuumed the seat, the mat, the console, the back of the chair, and I was finished. So he walked around the car snapping photos for the next person to check in. And he came around to my side, he snapped a picture of the passenger seat and he said, "Hey, like, it looks good, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, that looks good." So he reached over, he went to the passenger seat, he slid the passenger seat all the way to the front and he pointed underneath. Dirt, chips, little objects wedged around in the cracks, stuff nobody was going to see. He grabbed the vacuum, he went in, he cleaned it out himself, and when we got back into the car, he said something that I never forgot. How you do anything is how you do everything. That's where I start today, because that's the one sentence that's really the definition of the single word, integrity. And integrity is the foundation that everything else in leadership stands on. And welcome back to the Alec Diaz Show. Let's go. And you've heard the simple version before. Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is looking. That's true. But let me give you a word I think gets closer to it, and that's alignment. Integrity is alignment between what you say and what you do, between who you are in public and who you are in private, between what you demand from other people and what you demand from yourself. And when those line up, you have integrity. And when those drift apart, you don't. No matter what your title says. And here's why this is the whole game changer for leaders of today. Leadership is influence. Trust is what influence is built on. So the moment trust breaks, influence breaks with it. People might still hear your words, but they don't receive it the same way. Your direction gets questioned. Your feedback gets discounted. Everything you say from then carries a little less weight than before, because people no longer believe your words match your life. You can have the title, you can have the position, you can have the authority, but without trust, people don't actually follow you. They only comply. They do what they're told just because they have to. And compliance is not leadership. You could run a team on compliance for only so long, but you can't build anything that lasts. And you've probably worked for a leader who preaches one thing but lives another. The ones who's always on people about being on time and is late to their own meetings. The one who demands honesty in public and bends the truth behind closed doors. The one who has the whole team grinding on the weekends to hit a date themselves never work. Most people won't confront it, but they feel it. They feel the gap between what the person says and what the person actually does. That gap turns quietly into distrust, because your team isn't just listening to you. They're watching how you handle the pressure, how you treat people when no one important is in the room, whether you own your mistakes and whether you keep your small promises. They're checking all the time, whether you live by the standard you preach. When the answer is yes, trust grows. When it's a no, it erodes, and they rarely tell you it's happening. Here's a formula I come back to. Trust equals trials over time. The more pressure, problems, or hard seasons you walk through with the team, and the more consistently you show up through them, the more trust that you build. You don't build it on a good day. You build trust on the hard ones. And I learned that early as a project manager. We had 35 regulatory milestones required to be delivered to the Fed. There were the kind of things you don't miss. You miss one and you're looking at major fines, reputational damage, and real consequences. The pressure was constant. The deadlines were real. There were real problems that had no obvious answer. So we showed up. Every single day, we lived in war rooms where the whole team gets on and we work real problems in real time till it gets solved together. We solved issues together. We celebrated the wins together. And the worst days, we cried together. We laughed together just to keep going. And someone in there, without anyone announcing it, we became a team people could trust because we kept showing up when it was hard. And the team knew we weren't going to disappear the second pressure hits. That's integrity in motion. Living the standard, not just describing it. Now, go back to the rental car because the lesson scales up from there. The renter was never going to look under the seat. They'd have driven off, turned the car, and maybe even left a 5-star review. And from the outside, it looked good enough, which good enough would have been fine. But that's not the point. The point is the commitment I had to myself. What I was training into my own character was letting good enough slide. Because every shortcut is a seed. Every time you say that's good enough, when it's really not, you're training yourself. You're teaching your own mind what your standard is. And whatever you put in is what you eventually get out. Halfway effort, halfway results. Shortcuts in the small stuff become shortcuts in the big stuff. Your work, your business, your relationships. Over time, they expose the standard you actually live by, not the one that you talk about. I heard a story once about Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was running a youth basketball camp. At the end, the kids were doing suicides. It's a conditioning drill where you have to run to the free throw and back and touch the baseline. You have to run to the 3-point line and back, touch the baseline, go back to the half court, and you do this touching each of the lines. But the one rule is that you have to touch the line, not get close or almost touch it. You have to touch the line. Kobe Bryant caught one kid miss the line. He almost touched it. He missed the line by 1 inch. 1 inch. Most people would call that close enough. He didn't. Because greatness is not built on close enough. Greatness is not built on almost doing the right thing. It's built by doing it fully. When you're tired, when it's hard, when nobody ever noticed, that's where integrity is actually formed. Not on the stage, in the hidden moments where nobody claps, nobody checks, and nobody's keeping score. Nobody knows, but you know, and God knows. And your character is getting built right there. One unseen inch at a time. So let me ask you a few honest questions. Where are your words and your actions not lining up right now? Where are you asking something of other people that you're not actually doing yourself? Where are you making it look good enough instead of making it actually good? Where are you missing the line inch by inch and telling yourself it doesn't matter? Because it does. Not because 1 inch changes the outcome today. Most days it won't. It matters because that inch reveals your standard. Miss it today, miss it tomorrow, miss it the day after, and inch by inch, those misses stack up into days, into weeks, into years. And over time, they turn into miles. The person cutting one small corner at a time ends up miles from where they swore they were going. And they can never point back to what moment it actually happened. Because it didn't happen in a moment. It happened inch by inch in the dark where nobody was watching and where it mattered the most. The standard that you tolerate in the small, little things is the standard that you tolerate in the big, visible ones. How you do anything is really how you do everything. If you want to build trust, start with consistency. If you want influence, start with integrity. If you want people to follow you, become someone genuinely worth trusting. Leadership is influence. Trust is the foundation. And integrity is what protects the trust. So the message today is simple. Do the right thing even when no one is looking. Keep your word. Own your mistakes. Hold yourself to a standard that you ask to everyone else. Clean under the seat and touch the line, because nobody builds a reputation on the moments that people see. You build it on the ones they don't. The hidden standard is the real standard. And the leader with integrity may never be the loudest person in the room, but give it enough inches, enough days, enough trials, and they become the one everyone trusts when it actually counts. So touch the line, even the one nobody's watching, especially that one. Thank you for joining me on the Alec Diaz Show, and I'll see you on the next one. Hey, it's Alec David Diaz, and if you haven't got your copy of the Intergenerational Strategist, go ahead and click the link in the bio, and you'll have access to go ahead and grab your copy. Many people have already started receiving their books and leaving great reviews, so I really appreciate every copy that is sold. It genuinely supports the channel, and it helps me make more content like this today. So if you enjoy the content and you want to support the channel, go ahead and click the link that's in the description and tell me what you think about the book. Leave a review. Have a blessed day. Thank you.